Okay, we seem to be live. Let's do another episode of Corpse Garden Reads.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Corpse Garden Reads, where I terribly read you a story. With me today is Pyle Hazard, one of my bestest buddies and usual co-host. How's it going, Pyle?
Hey, it's not going too bad, and I'm glad to be back.
I'm so glad you're here. So today, I'm going to read you guys a little bit more in the Dukale Paranormal Investigation. This story gives you more of Michael's backstory before he got with Friday, and you get to learn more about his abilities and one of the more sad times in his life. I don't know how much you remember hearing from the Dukale Paranormal Investigators universe, Pyle?
Not very much at all.
Okay. Sooner or later, I'm going to get you to get caught up, even if I have to read all of it to you. But for today, we are going to read Moving On. This is the next part of the story. In the first part, Confused and Numb. I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason that story worked so well is because Pyle answered a million questions about EMTs and how they worked and what they did for to help revive people, or if they couldn't revive, what they would do next. So I definitely, since you're here, I want to thank you, Pyle, for helping me make this world better.
You're very welcome, and I remember working on that with you.
Oh yeah, that story, this is part 2. So if you remember that one, we're going to move on to the second part. If you guys are ready, I'm going to read you the story, and then Pyle's going to tell us what he thinks. Okay, guys? He couldn't keep his walls up. His emotions were out of whack. His grief was hard to keep in check with Maria's death. He had to park farther away from her apartment than he wanted. With everyone getting home from work, the streets were filling up. As he made his way to her apartment, a disembodied arm motioned from a dark alley. He hated that. He didn't enjoy the sun going down earlier this time of year either. Within a few minutes, he made it to her apartment building and made his way up. Mr. Phelps was wandering around the hallway again. He debated if he should say something about moving on or just leave it alone. He walked past the older gentleman to Maria's apartment. He didn't have to use the key, he found. Her parents had beat him there. They had made great strides in getting her things packed away. Janie looked up and Fred peeked out of her bedroom. The living room furniture was gone and stuff had been put in boxes and neat stacks. He felt like she was still here. He pushed down the filling, hoping it was his grief and not her wandering around the apartment. Hey, sweetie, Fred and the boys had already started getting the bedroom furniture. We were thinking that you should get her books and reading chair. He could see how tired she was with the grief weighing on her. Thank you so much. I will cherish them. Though thankful he could feel his heartbeat worsening, knowing they can't have their book. Though thankful he felt his heartbeat worsen, knowing they can't have their book talks anymore. He felt his eyes getting wet again. He wiped them for the 900th time. Jeffrey and Frank came back with the furniture dolly. They worked quietly for a bit as they put things in boxes and took things out. They had even used it with the book boxes to get them in Michael's car. After they returned, he asked them, "What are we doing with her things?" "We are putting some in storage. There is a young family close to us that could use the furniture, so we are giving the rest of it to them." Michael nodded as he glanced around the apartment. As he noticed that many of the biggest things were already taken out by the men, he glimpsed Maria standing behind Jeffrey, her oldest brother. She was still in shock, and he could see the hurt in her eyes. He swallowed down his response to her being there. "Where do you want me to help?" he asked, trying to do anything but look at Maria. Instead, he looked at Janie pointedly. She was in charge of the show anyway. "Please get the kitchen packed. Put all the cold food in the cooler. You should take the food home. It was both of y'all's." He nodded. She tried so hard not to start sobbing again. He believed they all were. Now was not the time to acknowledge her. Her family couldn't see her. It would only add to their pain. He and Jeffrey made their way to the kitchen and start packing the kitchen items. "Your mom said you were taking the CNA classes at Pepperidge Nursing and Rehab," Jeffrey asked as his brother and dad took the headboard past the door. Michael nodded at the handyman of the nursing home, pasta in hand. "Yeah, I'm going to work my way up to being a nurse. This way I get a job within a few weeks that's guaranteed, and I know what it's like at both levels. I have been accepted into next year's nursing program at the local college as well." He smiled as he put the dry goods in the box. "You're not giving up. I am proud of you," Janie said as she hugged him when he stood up again. He didn't realize she had come to the kitchen to hear their conversation. Jeffrey inquired, "A guaranteed job at the nursing home after the classes?" "I have a special in. My mom is tired of my bullshit and has decided to put me to work. Our DON is going to be on my ass until I get registered. I think she may be proud I am walking in her shoes, so to say." Michael smiled. They would find a way to get through this. The bathroom door slammed. Janie went into the bedroom and opened it. She looked around and couldn't see her daughter crying. Michael could hear her. He just couldn't go talk to her yet. He wanted to talk to her and hold her so badly. Bedroom. They both walked to the bedroom door to see. "What's wrong?" Fred asked as he and Frank came back into the apartment and saw everyone looking around the bedroom. The bathroom door just slammed for no reason. Her confusion came through her voice. He saw Fred shrug. He seemed as unsure as she did as to why it would slam on its own. They all decided to shrug off the weird occurrence and get back to work. The couple they told him about came and they got everything out quicker. Madison and James were super nice. Madison was going to be a new friend, he found out. They both were going to brave through the CNA courses together. Everyone was exhausted as they were leaving. Fred stopped him. She was going to ask you to marry her. She got you a ring from your favorite game, he said as he held up a ring box. They started crying hard. They hugged each other for a long time. The life they hoped to live together was gone. Now they just had whatever was ahead of them. It hurt so bad. They all went home. The next afternoon, Michael came back. They had all helped get the furniture in the new couple's house that morning and the rest in storage. He promised to do one more once over and turn in the keys. He knew he needed to talk to Maria alone. She could move on and have her afterlife. Hey, baby, I'm so sorry, he said nervously. This is going to be the most painful and difficult conversation in his whole life. She appeared in front of him. Why didn't you talk to me yesterday? The hurt in her voice hit him in the heart. Your parents can't see spirits. It would hurt them more and confuse them why I'm being so mean to them, he explained. I can't even understand what's happening, she screamed. The lights flickered with her emotions. He took a deep breath. He needed to keep his calm for her. You died. We don't know why. Your body just stopped. He saw she couldn't accept. She wouldn't accept it. How do we fix it? I can't be dead, she pleaded with tears falling down her face. He couldn't stop his tears. This hurts so much. There is no fixing it. You just have to move on. The bulbs blew above them. Move on? I can't even leave. That comment made her rightfully mad. Her inability to get past her being dead is keeping her here. There is supposed to be a light the dead can see, a portal into the afterlife. He tried to explain something he truly didn't understand. Why are you forcing me to leave? Don't you love me anymore? He could see her heart was shattered, that he was telling her to leave. I do love you. That's why you need to leave, he assured her. That's why you should go into the light. I don't understand what you're talking about. She looked hopeless and afraid. You're dead, baby. You have to start your afterlife. He pleaded for her to understand. He needed her to understand. That makes no sense. I can't be dead. More bulbs blew. She looked insane. You saw your body leave with the coroner, he said, as gently as he could. Get out! She screamed. The lights started flickering again. She ran to the bathroom and shut the door. Michael cried as he realized she would not understand. She would not understand anytime soon. She was too hurt and confused to get anything he said. He nodded and left. What do you think of chapter 2?
I like it. I like the way that you played all the elements of, okay, we've got all this stuff in this apartment. We need to get it out. I've always liked how different families have the different ways of thinking. I mean, some people, oh, well, we can wait on this. Let's handle this. And other people, oh, let's get this stuff out of this apartment. That way there's not a bill. That way there's not a this and that. You put that right there where another family could use these items. It's not just taking them and letting the landlord just throw them out. I also like how you made sure you put in there that the one person had to get a job and how somebody thought, oh, following in my footsteps. No, I'm just doing this because I have to do this. There's a lot of elements when you put a story together that you have to think about and you've been able to take a whole bunch of different elements and throw them into this chapter. Uh, I can't tell you how paranormal people feel because I don't think anybody really can, but this is a good way of reading the story and understanding that she is not ready to just be done. She is not understanding what's going on. She is not happy about the situation, and she almost feels like she's being betrayed on
Mhm.
somebody that loves her so much, and she's not understanding because she doesn't want to acknowledge the situation that she has been given. I mean, when you come up to somebody and something tragically happens, there's so many different ways people can handle a situation, and I really think that he did a really good job at bringing the emotion of this person to light. Um, so yeah, I do like chapter two. I like how it's coming and actually working apart.
Thank you. This had started as a serial for the newsletter, and this one's going to go out this month. But I also knew I needed to do a Corpse Garden Chronicles, and I figured since it's my story, I can have it do both, be an episode and be a newsletter exclusive, because they only get the print version first.
Right. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that you're hitting on. There's a lot of things. A lot of people handle death in so many different ways. I can only imagine how someone would handle their own death because no one really has records of somebody coming back and saying, "Oh, well, this is how I felt when this happened." Um, we always hear the stories of there's a light on the end of the tunnel, or there's this or there's that. Um, I think you chose a great way of bringing things to your story. That was a wonderful way to keep your story going.
Thank you. I hope everybody likes the next chapter as much. I've just about got that nailed out.
Oh, me being a writer, I mean, every writer does it on their own time and does it in their own way. And that being said, I know I've kicked some stories here and kicked some stories there. Um, and sometimes, as the writer, you're going through and you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out what the people want to read. And when you go and you think about that so much, sometimes you kind of lose track of what you're trying to do in the story.
Right now, I don't think I'm doing them more for what I think it's what these be, beautiful people want to read or listen to. I
Right?
Right now it's just stuck in my head. Like before I could finish part 3 of this, I ended up writing 2 more episodes in the Grim Reapers universe.
Right. And
And I don't know why my brain is doing any of this.
like I said, it's just one of those things that as a writer, you just need to figure out how it needs to fall.
Yep,
And
that is true.
sometimes we look at it and say, well, people want to read this. And sometimes what people want to read doesn't exactly fall into place with us. So, first of all, we've got to get stuff to fall into place, or we're going to have a lot of people looking at it and start laughing and going, well, that's not real or that's not plausible. And in a book, anything is plausible, anything can be real.
I agree. With Michael's storyline in general, he has went through some interesting things. And the creature in the forest by the cemetery, that was, I don't want to meet that thing. Or having your girlfriend drop dead in front of you and no one has any clue why. Definitely don't want to do that. But
I don't think anybody really does.
yep, Okay, we're hitting that 20-minute mark that we were talking about. Pyle, where do you want people to find you?
Well, you can always find me here on the Allight Network, doing Chainer's Haunted Secrets or our wonderful show of The Traveling Owl. You can find me pretty much anywhere dealing with the haunted house industry in the state of Ohio.
Oh, should I play that haunted house? The Chainers, Welcome to Chainers thing, where Max is having us come to the convention.
Absolutely.
Before
If
we
you would
leave?
like to do
Okay.
that, I mean, it's your show.
Yep, this is the bumper for Chainer's Haunted Secrets, and I love this show, but also the convention, so I'm going to play that. It is for an alternate show, but I do love Max, and at some point, I wonder if it's possible to get him to do one for this show.
I bet you know enough connections. He'd be more than happy to do something with you.
Okay. We are going to have to see if we can get Max to do us one. But anyway, I'm going to play this, and then we're going to head out. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Hey, everyone. I'm Maximus Christian Bryant, president of the Ohio Haunters Association, and you are watching Chainer's Haunted Secrets on the Owlite Network. And I wanted to invite you all to come see the Ohio Haunters Convention on May 9th and 10th in 2026 at the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. See you there.